SOS. 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 I got you yelling SOS. Thought you was a threat. I do real life, do no tip and tap on the internet. We don't do that. See, I've been a threat and I've been a vet. Thought you knew that when I'm cashing checks. I don't owe no debts.
So assembling the Nomad1 Plus was an absolute breeze, and I actually have a real function that I'm going to be using this bike for today, and that's to deliver a letter to the post office. I thought this would be a perfect time to take it out for its first ride, go over some of the specs, and let you guys know what my initial thoughts are on the Velotric's Nomad1 Plus. Let's go. All right, before we get going, I just want to point out, I love this color. I don't know about you guys, this color is super nice. It's a real neutral color. I think it could fit anybody who wants to ride this bike. The logoing looks really good on this bike, and I really like the CST BFT tires. Those big white letters look absolutely awesome. But let's go ahead, let's power this beast on. Simply just press the power button there, turns on, pedal assist 0. Let's go ahead and just put that on 1 for now. Okay, real quick, before we take this out on the road, I want to show you guys how to increase the speed to make this a Class 3 e-bike. You're simply going to hold down the plus and the power button at the same time for 20 seconds. So 20 seconds is going to feel like quite a while, but it'll take you into this screen right here. You can hit the minus button to lower it, or you can hit the plus button to increase it. 28 miles an hour is going to be the Class 3 maximum speed that you can set this to. After you've got it set to the desired speed you want, just hold down the power button until the bike powers off. Then you can hold down the power button again and it'll power it back on. Now you're set to the maximum speed that you set in that menu. All right, so this is the absolute first ride on this bike. I think I've got it set up just right for my riding style. So let's go ahead and just hit some throttle. I didn't quite charge the battery all the way. Wanted to get out on this thing. Okay, so we're out here now on our adventure, and I already set this bike up for maximum speed. So whenever it comes shipped to you, it'll go 20 miles an hour, but you can raise the speed. It gives you instructions. Whenever you unbox this, there's a little instructions on how to actually change the speed. So whenever you get one, there's a little flyer on there. Make sure you read everything because it tells you how to do that. It's a super simple process. But as of right now, pedal assist 1 goes about 14 miles an hour. Let's bump this up, see what pedal assist 2 will do. About 16.9. Pedal assist 3. This thing's got some pep. 21.1. Pedal assist 4. 24.4. Pedal assist 5. And I've maxed out the 8 gears, but I still have resistance on the pedals just a little bit. We're cruising 28 miles an hour, 29, 30. This thing's still pulling. Oh, this bike's quick. Fat tire bikes that are fast are awesome. I saw 32 miles an hour there. And this is a relatively flat piece of ground. Man, this bike is really comfortable. And I can't really hear the bike all that much because it's pretty windy out right now. Hopefully that's not coming through on the microphone. All right, let's see what the throttle will do in pedal assist 5. See if it'll maintain 28 miles an hour. Oh yeah, it's holding it no problem on this flattish road. Swept back bars on this bike are super comfortable. The way these curve up and come back to you, really, really comfortable. These ergonomic grips are also really plush. Easy to get to the throttle, easy to get to change my pedal assist levels. The screen is super bright, and I installed the bell over on this side. Now this comes with a Shimano 8-speed shifter, and it's a thumb shifter, which is my preferred method, the thumb and the index. So this will push you into an easier gear, and then your index finger on the other side of the handlebars here will put you into a harder or faster gear. And it's got some nice hydraulic brakes. Let's pull over here and let's go over some of the specs. Oh yeah. Big old fat tires have no problem handling all these bumps. No problem stopping. These hydraulic brakes work really, really well. Now this particular model is their step through. They do have a step over model, and each one of these bikes does have bottle boss mounts right down here. So if you want to attach a bottle of water or maybe a lock, you can do that. I really like all the little accents that they put on this, like this cool little design down here, and then also back here where it holds onto the fender. Just some really nice touches. It does come with these plastic fenders, and then back here it's got a built-in taillight that lights up and actually lights up even more whenever you brake with it. But this bike has a pretty decent drivetrain. It's 8 speeds. It's got a 46 tooth chainring up front and an Altus rear derailleur in the back with that nice 8-speed cassette. And then also attached to that is the big Velotric 750 watt, 75 Newton meter motor. This motor should be pretty powerful enough to get you up most major hills and get you obviously up to 32 miles an hour according to my tests. But looking right here, you do have a spot for a key, so you can actually remove this battery. This is a pretty good sized battery, and it's UL rated and waterproof, so you don't have to worry about it getting damaged in the rain. And it'll take you upwards of about 55 miles of pedal assist, and they're claiming 52 with throttle. Now that's on the lowest pedal assist, not the highest pedal assist. But you also get this nice cushy seat, so you don't have to worry about getting fatigued on your seat with this big seat. Fully adjustable with a quick release lever right here. And then also, speaking of adjustments, this has an adjustable stem, so you can dial this in to your comfort level. It's got a built-in headlight right up here with an actual reflector built in, so whether it's on or off, they're going to be able to see you going down the road. Looks like I need to tighten it. Mine's a little bit loose. Overall, the wiring looks really clean with this wrap. Really, really nice looking. The hydraulic brake levers are pretty traditional and they work really, really well. They use standard mineral oil, so you don't have to worry about if you ever have to have maintenance with this using any kind of harsh chemicals. Standard mineral oil for brakes will work in these. Super easy to maintain. And here's a closer look at this 8-speed shifter. This is a really nice little shifter. I like these quite a bit. Made by Shimano. And then the front fender up front. Now these plastic fenders, if I'm going to have one complaint, they're a little bit flimsy, but they are definitely going to be doing the job. You just kind of have to make sure that they're kind of turned correctly and mounted correctly. Mine was a little bit kind of cockeyed at first, but after kind of moving around, adjusting it, getting it out of the box, it straightened out pretty well. Now this does have a pretty decent little suspension up here. It's nothing too crazy, but it's going to smooth out the road, and it does have a lockout built in. Down here you do get a Novatec hub, which is a really nice feature. Along with that, over on this side, you are going to get these 180 millimeter disc brakes, and then the hydraulic calipers. Both front and back are going to have the 180 millimeter disc brakes. So this thing's going to have plenty of stopping power for you out on the road. All right, let's go ahead and continue our journey. All right, here's our first hill test, and I'm hardly pedaling, and I was almost at a complete dead stop at the bottom of it. Did really well. I would say that's probably an average hill in a neighborhood. Worked really, really well. And none of that surprises me with the 750 watt, 75 Newton meter motor. That's a big size motor with a lot of torque. I'm gonna go ahead, just because we're on the road, I'm just gonna turn on my headlight. And as you can see, when you turn the headlight on, it has an indicator right here, and then the backlit display dims down. So you're not using as much battery for this display, but of course you're running the headlight and the tail light at a little bit brighter level. Just cruising down this 30-mile-an-hour street, I feel pretty safe on this bike. Feels super stable. I feel like I'm keeping up with traffic. I'm going 24, 25 miles an hour with pretty much ease. So I don't think any cars are going to be too upset with me going this fast. Shifting seems to be working good. Now there are no turn signals, so you will have to hand signal if you're riding through the city, just so traffic knows that you're turning. But these are all little things whenever you're doing a a budget bike that you may have to consider. Do you want turn signals or do you not? Me personally, even if I do have turn signals on my bike, I don't trust that the people behind me are actually looking at my taillights. So I usually hand signal anyways. And I also use a turn signal if the bike's equipped with it. Really smooth. Really the only noise is a slight motor noise and then the noise of the tires. These fat tire bikes with tread on them, like what these CST tires have, they do produce a good amount of noise, but they're super grippy. All right, we made it to the post office. Let's drop off our letter. And this is exactly why I love e-bikes. I can quickly get from my house over to the post office, not have to start my car, and we're good. All right, for the way back, we're just gonna use throttle for quite a bit to see how it performs. All clear, let's go. Now the throttle is nice and smooth. It's not super jolty. So it did kind of ramp up there just a little bit. So it's not gonna pull you back and kind of surprise you, which is nice. I like that on a lot of e-bikes is you don't want a really fast start. It's not a dirt bike or a motorcycle. It's just an e-bike. So a nice casual, easy start makes it a little bit more relaxing. Easily got up to 30 miles an hour. I've always been impressed with Velotric's speed ability. And not to mention, Velotric is sold in well over 1,000 stores inside the United States. So there's a lot of shops and stores that you can go to for repairs or warranty work if you ever have any issues with the bike. Now I did say just a second ago that I like the slower approach of the throttle, but it is pretty slow. It could be amped up just a little bit, but I would rather it be a little bit slower than just too fast. Now I am really happy with the way that the power applies whenever I start the pedal. It doesn't seem to have a very big delay. Sometimes you'll get e-bikes and they'll have really big delays in pedaling. This seems to be pretty efficient. Now whenever you're going along and you want to stop pedaling, the motor seems to cut off really well. It's probably got about a foot, maybe 2 feet of overrun on it, meaning that whenever you stop pedaling, the motor pushes a little bit further. Some bikes have an extreme overrun of over 3 to 4 meters, which is too much for me. I prefer to have a foot to 2 feet, maybe something around 1 meter, just because you don't want it to completely stop the second that you stop pedaling. All right, I know we're down to 2 battery bars here, but we're gonna take this over to the big hill here and just see how this thing does. I have a feeling it's gonna do pretty well with 75 Newton meters of torque. Usually I prefer like an 80 to 90 Newton meter torque motor on this big hill, but let's be honest, this is a big motor for a fat tire bike, 750 watts. All right, so we are here. Brakes, of course, are working like a champ. So we're here, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use throttle to get up to speed, and the throttle's a little bit slower than what I would like the more I use it, but here we go. See, it's ramping up real well. We're gonna start pedaling right here, and it switched over really, really well. I'm in the hardest gear right now. I'm probably gonna have to switch here soon, so we're gonna see how the actual shifting does under load. Let's go ahead and switch. Did decent there, but I'm not real worried about it because Shimano stuff can definitely be tuned if needed. And any bike shop should be able to work on a Shimano setup, getting it to shift perfect for you. But otherwise, it does pretty good. Right up here by this driveway is the 19% grade. If you've watched my reviews, once I get here, if we go under 10 miles an hour, then it probably isn't the best hill climber, but this guy's doing it. Ooh, we got close. We got close, but now we're gaining. And I was only in gear 2 there, so I still had 1 more gear to make it easy to get up that hill. Yeah, overall, this thing did really good. That's an extreme hill. Most people, unless you live in San Francisco, aren't gonna be riding hills that big very often. This is designed in California. They have offices out there. So if that's something you're concerned about, that's a good thing. We're going 40 miles an hour, people. 40 miles an hour. This bike feels smooth. I tell you what, that's what I love about these fat tire bikes. If they are made right, they are the most stable bikes you will ever find. They just want to track straight, they want to stay upright, and they just want to keep going. Hitting 40 miles an hour going down that hill. Whew. That's a fast downhill. All right, let's head back to the house and get my final thoughts on the Velotric's Nomad 1 Plus. All right, guys, we're back, and the Velotric is parked in a special spot. This is the future home of the Bike Barn, a place I'm going to be using to store e-bikes that are needing to be reviewed and ones that I'm currently reviewing. So this location is going to look a little bit different here pretty soon. But let's get back to the Velotric Nomad 1 Plus. This bike is super fun. If you're into fat tire e-bikes or you want something that's super stable, this bike is a great value. At coming in under 1,400 bucks, you get some really nice features on this. The one thing that I do wish was probably a little bit bigger, but that's just because of my riding style, is the battery. It comes in right around, I believe, 621 watt hours. I'll put it on the screen here, which is plenty big enough for city riding, but I love to blitz on these bikes. I love to go at pedal assist 5 as fast as they'll go. And with any e-bike you do that with, you are going to drain the battery significantly faster than what you would if you were on pedal assist 1, 2, or 3. But I would like it if this had, like, say, an 800, maybe an 850 watt hour battery, just to give me a little bit more power. I would suspect at pedal assist 5 on the adventure that I went on, you saw the terrain and how it was set up. I would suspect you could probably get around 20 to 25 miles on pedal assist 5, so still a really good range. And if you're going to be commuting on a bike like this, you can take this battery out and take it into your job or whatever building you're going to and charge it up. So you could technically get a full charge and go even further. But if you're going to ride a little bit slower, like say, for example, my wife, she doesn't like to go above 15 miles an hour. This battery is going to be plenty. It'll get you really close to that 50-mile range going at that speed. But I would say a more realistic range on a bike like this is probably 30 to 40 miles for the average person. So that's one thing I do wish was a little bit different on this Nomad 1 Plus. But otherwise, I love it. I love the fact that you can get this in different colors. You can get this in different sizes. You can get it in step over or step through. It's just a really good looking all around bike. Comes with some nice features that you don't typically see in this price range. The other thing that I do wish was a little bit higher quality are these fenders, but after all, they do function, and once they were on the bike and I was able to kind of twist them and get them positioned just right, they did straighten up. And so overall, I think that's pretty good. But there you go. That's the Nomad 1 Plus, which is brand new from Velotric. Offers a ton of features that I think you guys are gonna love. And if you do really wanna pick up one of these bikes or maybe one of the other Velotric bikes that's on their site or ones that I've reviewed, I've almost reviewed them all. Yeah, just use my links down below. That helps out this channel. No cost to you guys, zero cost to you guys. It just also lets Velotric know that, hey, Mike's reviews are getting watched, people like them, and they're buying bikes. So let's send them more bikes to review, which is a super helpful thing for this channel because that's what I do. I review bikes. But if you guys have enjoyed this any bit, just hit that like button. It's completely free. Leave me a comment. That also helps with the algorithm, and subscribe. It's free also. But as always, guys, get out there and ride your bike. Hopefully a Nomad 1 Plus. See ya.